0513 local time. The ocean is smooth. The air is still. Inside the carrier's combat information center, the steady rhythm of passive sonar fills the room like a quiet pulse. Green lines move across dark screens. The watch is routine. Nothing is moving faster than it should. Then the tone changes. A sharp spike cuts through the background noise. Brief, artificial, impossible to ignore, transient. The word is spoken quietly, but everyone hears it. The sonar operator leans forward, eyes fixed on the display. The contact does not move like marine life. It does not drift with the water. It accelerates. Another update comes in. New contact. High speed, bearing 274. No alarms yet, no flashing lights, just calm voices and controlled movements. The operator adjusts the filters. The contact becomes clearer. A clean acoustic pattern rises out of the noise. Mechanical, balanced, intentional. Then the call comes. Threat in the water. The room changes instantly, not into panic, into focus. Screens update at the same time. The contact speed increases, its depth steadies, its bearing holds. Someone says it almost clinically. Torpedo launch confirmed. Up on the bridge, the carrier continues forward. From the outside, nothing appears different. No sudden turn, no visible reaction. 80,000 tons of steel keep moving at a steady pace, carving a white line through the blue surface. Below decks, the clock starts. The tactical display redraws itself. A red vector stretches out from a point hidden beneath the water, aimed straight toward the ship. Range closing. Time to impact, under 7 minutes. No one needs the situation explained. There is no announcement, no siren. Everyone in that room understands exactly what those numbers mean. This is not a drill. The sonar operator continues speaking, voice steady. Active guidance suspected. Course correcting. That detail changes everything. This is not a simple object running in a straight line. It is listening. It is adjusting. The officer of the watch does not raise his voice. Condition 1. Anti-submarine warfare. The order moves through the ship faster than sound. On the flight deck, sailors pause mid-step. Aircraft crews freeze with their hands on panels. The only sounds above are turbines, wind, and the distant rush of water. No one runs. Inside CIC, more data appears. Environmental clutter is stripped away, leaving only what matters. The torpedo's track is clean now. Its speed is consistent. Its intent is clear. Bearing unchanged. It wants the carrier. The captain enters without ceremony. He does not ask for a summary. He looks at the display and gives one small nod. Maintain course. The order lands heavier than any shout. Maintaining course is not hesitation. It is geometry. Turn too soon, and a smart torpedo already tracking the ship may get an easier solution. So the carrier holds steady. The torpedo accelerates again, speed increasing, depth steady. At another console, a watchstander marks the water column. The acoustic profile suggests a heavyweight design, long endurance built for large vessels. Another update. Closing fast. 6 minutes. The room is quiet except for voices and keys. Every word is precise. Every second is logged. Then the torpedo's seeker goes active. A new sound enters the headphones. Faint at first, then unmistakable. A high-frequency pulse searching through the water. Active ping detected. That is the moment uncertainty disappears. This contact is committed. The carrier still does not turn. Outside, the horizon looks exactly the same as it did 5 minutes earlier. Sunlight glints across flat water. The sky is empty. Inside the ship, the ocean has become a battlefield measured in meters and seconds. The tactical plot updates again. The red vector inches closer. Calculations refine automatically. 5 minutes. The captain speaks again. Prepare countermeasures. Stand by. Not yet. The torpedo corrects once more, adjusting to the carrier's wake pattern. It is learning. It is closing. The sonar operator exhales slowly. No decoys deployed. Holding. Everyone knows why. Deploy too early and the system may adapt. Wait too long and there may not be another chance. This is the narrow edge where doctrine meets judgment. 4 minutes. The carrier still holds her line. Somewhere below the surface, metal races toward metal, guided by sound, speed, and intent. And in the next moments, measured not in minutes, but in heartbeats, everything is about to change. 0516 local time. The torpedo is still running. Inside the Combat Information Center, the plot tightens. The red vector remains steady, but now there is something else. At first, it is subtle. Then it becomes impossible to ignore. A second pattern rises beneath the noise floor. New contact. The sonar operator speaks carefully. Low frequency, slow mover. No one asks what it might be. Everyone knows what it has to be. The system begins peeling away the layers. Thermal distortion, biological noise, background clutter. When the picture clears, one acoustic fingerprint remains. Long cylindrical form, propulsion pulses spaced with military precision. The room leans in, Launch platform contact developing. That changes everything. The torpedo is no longer only a threat, it is a clue. If you can track the object, you can trace the hand that launched it. The fire control team overlays the torpedo's course with probable launch geometry. Angles collapse inward. A shaded cone appears on the display, an invisible funnel pointing back into the deep. There. A single point stabilizes near the apex. Range, several thousand yards. Depth, below the thermal layer. Speed, minimal. It is hiding. The torpedo updates again, correcting slightly toward the carrier's wake. Its seeker is doing its job. Distance keeps shrinking. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. The captain studies the screen. No hesitation, no theatrics. Launch the helicopter! Above decks, rotors begin to turn. The sound rolls across the water, low and heavy. A helicopter lifts from the flight deck and angles away from the carrier, nose down, racing toward the shaded cone on the tactical plot. Inside CIC, attention divides between two fights. One incoming threat, one hidden source. The helicopter crew says very little. They do not need to. Their path has already been drawn by the data flowing up from the ship. Dipping sonar in 2 minutes. The torpedo pings again, louder this time. Active guidance confirmed. The room absorbs it without reaction. Then the carrier finally moves. Not a full turn. Not yet. Speed increases slightly, just enough to change the acoustic picture without revealing panic. The wake thickens. The water behind the ship becomes more complex, noisier, harder to interpret. The torpedo reacts. Weapon-corrected course, sonar reports. It is still locked. No relief, no disappointment, just information. 3 minutes. The helicopter arrives on station and hovers low over the surface. A cable drops. The sonar dome slips beneath the waves. Everyone waits. Seconds stretch. Then contact. The helicopter operator reports. Solid return. Bearing matches launch estimate. The shaded cone collapses into a dot. This is the source. The submarine does not maneuver yet. It does not sprint. It does not dive deeper. That is a choice. It is listening. It wants to know whether the torpedo reaches its mark before it commits to escape. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. The torpedo's speed remains constant. Its course remains aggressive. It has confidence in its solution. Inside CIC, another option flashes on the board. Countermeasures ready. Decoys standing by. Everything is prepared. Still waiting. The helicopter refines its fix. The sonar picture sharpens. Confirmed submarine contact. No change in speed. That detail lands hard. A submarine that stays still after launching is not careless. It is deliberate. It believes the outcome is already decided. The captain's voice cuts through the room. Shift priority. Source contact is now primary. That is the pivot. The carrier is still in danger, but the logic has changed. The threat is no longer only the torpedo racing inward. It is also the platform that could launch again. 2 minutes. The helicopter circles once, tight and controlled, keeping its sonar locked. The submarine's acoustic signature grows clearer with every pass. Propulsion type, shaft rhythm, depth profile. Everything is being recorded. The torpedo pings again. Closer now. The tactical plot updates in real time. The red vector nears the carrier's defensive envelope. The blue marker over the submarine holds steady. Both tracks move toward their conclusions. One of them is about to be interrupted. Stand by, the captain says. The room goes almost still. 2 hunters, 1 target each. Only seconds left before one side makes a critical mistake. 0519 local time. The torpedo crosses another range ring. Inside the Combat Information Center, the geometry narrows into a tight corridor. The torpedo is no longer searching. It is driving forward, steady, and committed. Prepare decoys, the tactical action officer says. The order moves without urgency because urgency wastes time. On the display, the carrier's projected wake spreads behind her, a complex acoustic cloud shaped by speed, displacement, and sea state. The torpedo's seeker rides the edge of it, adjusting with small, precise corrections. Deploy. Behind the carrier, countermeasures slip into the water, quiet and controlled, timed to the second. They bloom beneath the surface, creating false signatures designed to confuse, attract, and pull the torpedo off its line. For a moment, it works. The torpedo hesitates. Its track wobbles. The red vector bends slightly toward the decoys. Turning toward countermeasures, sonar reports. No one cheers. No one reacts. Everyone waits. The carrier holds course. The helicopter keeps its sonar locked on the submarine, hovering low, rotors beating the air into a steady roar. Then the torpedo changes again. Correction, sonar says. Reacquiring. The red line snaps back toward the carrier's true wake. The decoys are rejected. That is the difference between theory and contact. This system compares. It filters. It adapts. Countermeasures ineffective. The watchstander says it without surprise. Only confirmation. 1 minute, 50 seconds. The torpedo accelerates slightly, making up for lost time. Its seeker pings again, stronger now, sharper. Inside CIC, the room grows quieter, not tense, focused. Every person knows exactly where the margin is and how thin it has become. The helicopter crew adjusts position. Source contact remains steady, no maneuvering. That changes the interpretation. The submarine is still listening, still waiting. It believes. The captain steps closer to the main display. Helicopter marks source contact as confirmed threat. Prepare intercept. There it is. No dramatic language, no qualifiers, just a shift in intent. The helicopter acknowledges with a single word. Roger. 1 minute, 30 seconds. The torpedo is now inside the carrier's inner defensive geometry. The ship finally begins to maneuver. Not sharply, not wildly, but decisively. The bow swings just enough to break symmetry. Speed increases again. The wake thickens, curls, and fractures into a more chaotic pattern. The torpedo reacts immediately. Course correction, depth change observed. It is working harder now, spending energy, making decisions faster. But it is still coming. Inside CIC, a different track becomes more important. The submarine's signature grows clearer with every second the helicopter holds contact. Its propulsion rhythm is logged, its acoustic profile is clean and disciplined. Then something changes. Source noise increasing, the helicopter reports. The submarine has made its first real decision. It is moving, not fast, not yet, but the change is unmistakable. It knows it has been found. 1 minute. The torpedo remains the immediate danger, but the balance is shifting. The submarine can no longer assume a clean escape after launch. The captain's voice stays steady. Intercept the source. The order does not erase the inbound threat. It reframes the fight. The helicopter begins its run, positioning with care, keeping sonar contact unbroken. The submarine reacts late. Too late. It makes a shallow turn, trying to slide sideways out of the acoustic cone. That movement gives it away even more. Contact solid, the helicopter says. Tracking maintained. 30 seconds. The torpedo's seeker pings again, louder now, closer. Inside CIC, no one looks away. Then sonar reports a change. Track losing stability, erratic corrections. The carrier's maneuvering combined with the chaotic wake is degrading the solution. The torpedo is spending energy chasing a picture that keeps changing. 15 seconds. The helicopter commits. Below the surface, the submarine hears the change. New sound, new pressure, clear intent. The torpedo breaks its line one final time, overcorrects, and then... Lost lock, sonar says. The red vector fractures. Then it disappears. The inbound threat is gone, but no one relaxes, because now the hunter knows it is being hunted. 0521 local time. The torpedo is no longer a factor. That truth settles across the Combat Information Center without celebration. No one says it out loud. The red track has vanished, but the room does not exhale. The source contact is still there. On the tactical display, the submarine's marker begins to drift. Slowly at first, then with purpose. Its speed increases just enough to be noticed. Source maneuvering, the sonar operator reports. Bearing shift southeast. That is the first clear admission from below the surface. The submarine is trying to leave, not sprinting, not panicking, just moving enough to slip away, break contact, and disappear back into depth and noise. It will not be easy. The helicopter tightens its orbit, lowering again, keeping the sonar dome steady in the water. Every pulse returns cleaner now, amplified by the submarine's own movement. Contact strengthening, the sensor operator says. Cavitation beginning. That is the sound no submarine wants to make. It is pushing harder, trading silence for speed. The ocean punishes that choice immediately. Inside CIC, the plot redraws itself. The submarine's escape vector becomes visible, predictable, boxed in by the carrier's escorts closing from a distance. Two surface combatants increase speed, spreading wide to deny open water. Their movement is precise, coordinated, and controlled. This is no longer defense. It is containment. The captain watches the geometry take shape. Keep pressure. Do not rush. The helicopter adjusts again, shifting just enough to stay ahead of the submarine's path. The sonar picture locks into clarity. Hull length, propulsion rhythm, depth profile. The submarine turns harder now, trying to break out of the sonar cone. It fails. Turning hard, the helicopter reports. Contact maintained. Every maneuver costs the submarine more noise, more exposure, more data for the surface forces. Then it dives. Depth increases rapidly as it tries to trade speed for cover. Pressure rises. Thermal layers stack cold and thick. For a moment, the contact weakens. Then it returns. Reacquired, the helicopter says calmly, still tracking. The ocean does not forget that easily. The captain nods once. Proceed. No explanation is needed. The helicopter steadies, then commits. A compact underwater interceptor drops cleanly into the sea. Not rushed, not dramatic. It slips beneath the surface and begins its quiet run. Inside CIC, 2 tracks now dominate the display. One fleeing, one following. The submarine hears it almost immediately. Its propulsion spikes. Cavitation blooms louder through the water column. The escape is no longer clean. It is pressured, unstable. The submarine turns again, sharper this time, trying to outrun the geometry closing around it. It cannot. The pursuing track adjusts with cold precision, matching each change, correcting without hesitation. The distance between them collapses. On the surface, the carrier maintains course, already sliding back into the background of the fight. This is no longer only about protecting the ship. It is about sending a message beneath the waves. Source slowing, sonar reports. Erratic movement. The submarine is running out of options. Then, nothing. The contact stutters, breaks apart, dissolves into noise. The propulsion rhythm disappears, replaced by irregular echoes that do not match controlled movement. The room stays quiet. No assumptions, no celebration. Seconds pass. Then the helicopter speaks again. Source no longer maneuvering. That is all. The surface ships ease speed, holding position, watching the water where the submarine last appeared. No further pings chase it. No additional action follows. The message has already been delivered. Inside CIC, the plot clears. One track gone, one threat removed from the equation, not announced, not dramatized, simply no longer active. The captain turns away from the display. Resume posture. The carrier eases back toward her original heading. Engines remain steady. The wake smooths behind her. Above decks, aircraft crews return to motion. Hands move again. Routines restart as if nothing had interrupted them. Below the surface, the ocean closes over the last disturbance. No debris rises. No signal follows. Only silence. And in this business, silence is rarely accidental. 05:26 local time. The ocean returns to routine. On the carrier's bridge, the horizon looks unchanged. Flat water, pale light. Nothing to suggest what passed beneath it only minutes earlier. The ship holds steady on her original course. Engines settle back into cruise. The wake narrows into a clean white line behind her. Inside the Combat Information Center, the atmosphere is controlled and methodical. No one celebrates, no one gives speeches. They log, timestamps are entered, bearings recorded, acoustic files saved and duplicated. Every second of the encounter is preserved exactly as it happened. No emotion, no interpretation, facts only. The sonar operator continues listening, sweeping the same water where the submarine last registered. The headphones carry nothing now but ambient sound, distant currents, biological clutter, the slow breathing of the sea. Source remains silent, he says. That is not relief, it is confirmation. The helicopter circles once more, wide and deliberate, then climbs and heads back toward the carrier. Mission complete. No damage reports, no urgency in the voice, just procedure. On the flight deck, the aircraft settles onto steel as gently as it lifted from it. Chocks in place. Rotors spin down. Sailors move in close, already resetting for whatever comes next. Below decks, the carrier's systems return one by one from combat posture to monitoring. Screens dim slightly, alerts reset. The rhythm slows, but nothing is forgotten. The captain stands quietly at the edge of CIC, eyes on the cleared plot. Where there had been converging vectors and closing angles, there is now only empty water. One torpedo launched, one response delivered, no follow-on contacts, no second launch, no further movement from below. The ocean has accepted the outcome. A final sweep confirms it. No additional contacts, sonar reports. The words are entered into the log and left there plain. Above the waterline, there is no broadcast, no public statement, no visible evidence for anyone beyond the ship's company. The carrier does not change speed to make a point. It does not linger. It simply continues. That is the message. In naval operations, absence often says more than presence. Silence can carry more weight than force. And restraint, when backed by capability, can speak louder than any signal flare. Somewhere below the surface, a submarine is no longer part of the fight. Whether damaged, retreating, or sitting silent in the deep no longer matters. What matters is that it is gone, and it did not launch again. Inside CIC, a junior watchstander looks at the clock and marks the final entry for the event. The log closes not with a declaration, but with a line so plain it almost disappears among the data. Inbound torpedo defeated. Source contact neutralized. Carrier mission uninterrupted. That is all. No adjectives, no conclusions. The carrier moves on, unchallenged, unchanged in direction or intent. Behind her, the ocean smooths itself out, erasing wakes, swallowing sound, restoring the illusion that nothing happened there at all. But beneath the surface, the lesson remains. One torpedo was launched, it never reached its target. And the platform that launched it did not control the outcome of that morning. Out here, that is all that needs to be said.